Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and How to Overachieve Without Overcommitting. And I'm here with my good friend Deb Doughty, who is a coach, speaker, and author in her own right. And Deb, we are going to talk about how people can put more time back in their days.
Right.
Because, you know, if you have gotten here, you have been swamped, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, as an entrepreneur
Overwhelmed.
yourself, you absolutely know how that goes. You know, you're running around, you got 15 million things you need to do, you're the chief cook and head bottle washer, you've got all of this stuff. You've got, you know, we did a survey actually, and we'll talk about this, but we even had people who said that they didn't have time to go to the bathroom.
Right, can you believe that?
Actually,
or
I
not
can't.
even take lunch?
Yeah, right, I can't. And if you find yourself in that situation, so we're not making a value judgment, right? That's fine. If you find yourself in a situation where you are just so worn out, you know that you've done a bunch of stuff, but you, for the life of you, can't figure out where it is. Or you're trying to figure out, oh my gosh, I've got so much on my day, and in my day and on my plate that I don't know how I'm going to get blood out of the stone.
No.
I literally don't. I'm just going to, how could I squeeze more out of what I don't have? And this is something that you'll want to consider, because we got a few points real quick to help you put more time in your day. These are some things that obviously we thought of, but also some things that people have told us that they kind of wanted to have addressed. And as you guys can see, by the way, we have our program, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We've got our boot camp, Deb, that we and I, you and I did together.
Right here.
That's exactly right. It's called How Busy Entrepreneurs Can Overcome the Overwhelm and Put More Time Back in Their Day. So we'll have that for you. You can check that out while you're here. But Deb, I'm going to jump right in for a couple points here. The first thing has to do with people who are just overwhelmed and don't know where to go. The first thing that I talk about is the 80-20 rule. All right. And I think, you know, if you haven't read the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, you actually recommended it to me. I would highly recommend it. It talks about the idea that 80% of your results are coming from 20% of your efforts, right? And the idea, and you know this to be true too, if you look at your business, what I would challenge you to do is take a look at where 80% of your results are coming from, all right? Let me tell you where they're not coming from. Email and social media.
Right.
And that's not, I mean, we might even have social, that's fine, okay? Let me tell you where they're not coming from. Email and social media, okay? Where 80% of your results, if you were to ask me where it's coming from, speaking, webinars, networking, referrals, things like that. So figure out where 80% of your results are, and when you do, and this gets to point number 2, when you're dealing with all of the things that you have to do during the course of a day, one of the things that I recommend all the time is to put it on a whiteboard. That's exactly right. And I'm talking about the man size, like, right? Like wingspan.
Well, I can get size the mama one.
Well, it's kind of, you know, I'm flying. So you know, you've got this huge whiteboard. It's going to cost you $30 at your local office supply store, and that's fine. While you're there, pick up some pens, another $4. You'll be out of there with $36. And what happens is you got this whiteboard, and what you do, I read this in Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. David Allen, another good book. Anyway, the idea is that you have a whiteboard where you have got stuff, and you are putting your stuff on there. Proposals, emails, things like that. People say, well, can I put it on the computer? I don't have a problem with that. I just haven't found that to be as successful, because I find that when you have it in front of you, it's a little easier to kind of have top of mind. And then you take those items from the whiteboard, and that becomes your to-do list. Now you're like, well, Brian, you said that there's a couple things that kind of, you know, correlate. Right. What you take off of that whiteboard, that should be where you get 80% of your results.
Right.
All right. If you're seeing that your day is literally being swept away, like, you know, we're both from the Northeast, like the Jersey Shore, okay, where you just, right. You know, they say you go out into the Jersey Shore and you start going into the water. If you don't watch out for that riptide, as you know, next stop is like, next stop is mainland China.
Going out to the ocean.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So what it is that you want to be able to do is, a lot of times people feel just literally awash in their day. And what you want to do is you want to be able to get this whiteboard, and you want to be, okay, I've got these 50 things, and then from there I'm going to take 5 or 6 or 7 things, and those are going to be 80% of where my results are going to come from. And when you do that, you will be able to see a much better uptick in your day in terms of productivity.
Right. Because, you know, one of the things that people do talk about a lot is they don't even get things done that they set out to do in the first place.
That's exactly right.
So they're all over the place.
Good point.
And when you're able to do what Brian just discussed, you're able to get one thing done before you go on to the next thing, right? So you stay focused, right? Follow through to one thing to successful.
Right.
So that in itself right there, to me, before you jump on to the next thing and you feel less efficient and you feel more overwhelmed, it's your single focus. So actually that's what I'm going to kind of talk to you a little bit about today as well. And, being a busy entrepreneur, and both of us are obviously busy entrepreneurs, and we've been in your shoes. That's why we're here doing this, because we want you to learn from the knots on our head. And of course, take the expertise that we have over all these years and be able to roll with it versus having it be more time consuming for you, right? Because we want to help you put more time back in your day. So the first thing in the morning is I do what's called a calibration time. Now I learned some of this actually from Darren Hardy, who is the publisher of Success Magazine. Love him. And he's a little intense, but I like it. I like the intensity.
I saw him speak in Houston.
Yeah, he's incredible.
He looks great.
He does.
Yeah, he looks great. He looks great. Darren, keep it up. You look awesome.
Keep it up, man. So he works in exercise. He works in, his 3 major goals, which I'm sure he puts down probably on a whiteboard too. And then he transfers them over like we were talking about. So the first thing in the morning, calibration time is so important. So the first 30 minutes of your time, it's non-negotiable. First thing in the morning, you take 30 minutes, maybe, if you only have 20 minutes, do 20 minutes, but at least do it, set it 15. Down in blood, and then sit there and look at what you have to get done for the day. What the main important things are that you're taking off your whiteboard, you're putting them on your to-do list, and then you focus on that. You also think about the other things that maybe you didn't get done from the day before that are still important that you have to put into today, right? So again, you're not jumping all over the place, but the calibration time is non-negotiable. Nobody gets to interrupt you. Not the phone. Don't have somebody come into your office. Which I know sometimes is hard because you might have a business out of your home or whatever the case, like we actually do, right? So you have to set boundaries with the people that you live with as well, okay? So that's another topic, but we do talk about that in this program as well. And of course, one of the other things that I love talking about is doing what I call power hours, which if you know me and I've talked about that, I'm actually expanded them a little bit more now, and I call them deep dive sessions. So where it's 2 to 3 deep dive sessions a day. They're 90-minute sessions kind of blocked out, right? And during those 90-minute sessions, all I do is focus on one particular project at a time. Okay. So it may mean that if like in my coaching business, one 90 minutes may be that I'm working on like my newsletter, and I'm working on things like this, making videos, podcasts, and then I have to put them onto my newsletter or my platforms or whatever the case may be. I'm doing those types of things. I'm not working on my newsletter for 90 minutes, but I'm doing those types of things in a chunk of time, so my focus is just exact and my productivity goes up by 2 or 3 times, which is incredible. And then maybe the next 90-minute session is where I'm actually working on Facebook ads and doing content for marketing funnels or whatever, coming up with different things that we're going to work on for a webinar. So again, it's categorized by certain projects, right? And then maybe your other your 90-minute session is whatever, making phone calls to your clients and, or talking to your referrals. And the bottom line is making phone calls, right? And breaking those up over the category that you have, right? So, it makes it so simple, and it really is that simple if you just focus on it. And what we like to do really is Brian and we use a countdown timer. Now, he'll use one on his phone, and I sometimes do that, but see, for me, I get distracted with like squirrel. Sometimes if I see something, come up, or if it's a text from one of my kids or something. So sometimes I'll just use a plain countdown timer. And you can go buy one on Amazon, you get it, wear it around your neck if you need to, and just stay focused. It will increase your productivity 2 to 3 times. I promise you that.
That is good stuff. And I think at the end of the day, guys, what we're talking about is how as busy entrepreneurs you can overcome this kind of overwhelm and put more time back in your day. We've got our boot camp, which you can take a look at. It's called How to Overcome the Overwhelm and Put More Time Back in Your Day. It's geared specifically for entrepreneurs and simplifying your business life. All right. The way it works is it's a 90-day program. We do 2 audios every other week. All right. So 2 audios, 10 minutes in length. And what we talk about are things like how to get more business, without excuse me, how to get more business without killing yourself in the process. We talk about how you can overcome the overwhelm. We talk about different ways that you can squeeze more business out of an already swamped day.
Deal with distractions and setting boundaries.
Right. That's exactly right. Dealing with distractions and all of that good stuff. So if you want, check it out. It is all right there. It's got some really good stuff. Deb's doing some, I'm doing some, and we might do some together, actually.
Yep.
I don't 100% remember, but I know we did some independently, and then we did some. Yeah, so it's a surprise for everybody. And you can check that out and see what you think. All right, so in the meantime, that's Deb. I'm Brian saying so long, take care, and thank you for your time.
And remember, make it a choice, because you can have a great day because it is your choice. Bye-bye.